Here's something, if you didn't know it, you're gonna wish you knew it way sooner.
This is your quick tip.
Hey, it's come to my attention that some folks don't know that you can apply a LUT to an entire bin all at one time instead of individually to the clips once they're in your timeline. So if I've got clips here and I know that they're all from the same camera, they're all gonna use the same LUT, and they're all in the bin together, I can just come over to my bin and go Command A to select all, or Control A if you're on a PC, and then I can right click and go to Modify and go to Color. And then I can say Input LUT. And I can say, okay, here's my LUT. Let's say this is the LUT I want to use. And then I say, okay, boom. Now the LUT is applied globally to all of these clips all at once. Do I have to still go in and do some color grading? Of course. But at least the basic LUT is on them and it's not looking so muted. This I use a lot, especially when the interview is shot in S-Log and I'm cutting together just a string out of interview bites that the producer would like to see before I start the full edit. So now I've put all the interview bites that we're going to use together. I don't want to send it to the producer in S-Log. A lot of producers, they understand that it's going to look muted and it's not color graded already, but there's a lot of producers out there who are like, why does that look like that? It didn't look like that out in the field. What's going on? So to get ahead of that question, I will put the LUT on in the bin level, and then I will do all my editing straight across. Now, of course, you can still do that in the timeline, right? What if all your clips are already in the timeline and you've cut them together, and as you can see, if I move this bin, here are all those clips in the timeline. None of them have the LUT applied. And let's say I've gone through and I've already, let's take a clip from another timeline, I've already edited other stuff in, right? So that it's not all just continuous. So I've edited stuff in, I've started going, and then the producer's like, I want to see what you have so far. And I'm like, I don't want to send it without the LUT on it because the producer's going to ask me why it's so muted. And I want to avoid having to explain to them the difference between log and, so instead of putting the lumetri on one of these clips and then choosing the LUT, right? And then going Command C to copy and then pasting attributes and having to shift click just those clips on and then pasting the attributes of lumetri straight across, right? So that's a perfectly fine way to go about doing it, but this is reciprocal. If I already have a timeline going and some stuff has a LUT on it and some stuff still doesn't have the LUT, and all of these clips are in the same bin and they all need the same LUT, I can, instead of having to drag lumetri onto it and pick the LUT and then paste attributes to those other clips, I can just do it all at once. Coming up to the bin and right-clicking on the bin, going to Modify, going to Color, choosing my LUT, saying OK, and it updates in the sequence. So now every clip in the sequence that didn't have the LUT applied now has the LUT applied to it. Do I still need to do the color grading afterwards? Of course. But this is a fast way to get your LUT applied to all the clips, even if you've already cut them into the timeline. If you apply the LUT by modifying the color space from the bin level, you can get that onto your clips in the timeline just like that. If you are learning Premiere and you want to do a deeper dive with me, I've left a link below to my 3-hour deep dive, and there is your quick tip for the day.